Starting in 2023, I'm going to be trading $25,000 into over $1 million. And I'm going to document the entire process here on YouTube for you guys to watch live. But there is just one problem with this plan, and that is, in order to pull this off, I need to be an insanely good trader. Like one of the best in my generation good. Lucky for me, I know exactly what I need to do to get that good. But it will not be easy because according to the old reliable internet, almost 95% of traders don't even make money, much less make millions. But what do all those traders do wrong? To put it simply, let's look at it like this. This is Jeff. He wants to play professional baseball one day, and he has made 2 different plans to get him there. Should he do plan A, which is read every book available on the perfect baseball hitting form, watch over 300 Major League Baseball games, and listen to hundreds of baseball players talk for hours? Or should he do plan B, which is practice baseball by hitting 500,000 baseballs in practice? Well, it's pretty clear that plan B would make him much more likely to be a professional baseball player than plan A. And you might be thinking, but KJ, what the heck does this have to do with trading? Well, you see, most traders fail at trading because they take route A. They read books, they listen to news, they read over companies' fundamentals, but they don't actually practice trading. If we want to become legendary traders, we have to practice trading. It's very simple, but yet very few people actually do it. But KJ, how does one practice trading? Well, I'm glad you asked, because that is exactly what we're going to be doing in this video. We're going to walk through 100 perfect trades, and by the end of the video, our skill of recognizing these good trades will have increased. It's like trading batting practice. So let's do it. Guys, this is not a normal video. I'm about to show you guys the sauce behind becoming an actual good trader, not what these crazy hyped up market crash YouTuber guys are saying. This is real. So make sure you watch this entire video. You will start to see for yourself the power of this method. It's crazy. So let's get into it right now. Starting off with ABML from 2021. Check out this move, guys. Look at the explosiveness. Look at the volume. You're not going to get this kind of moves on Apple and any blue chip stocks. You got to be in here in the trenches. This thing goes from 20 cents up to $1.60. Then it comes back. It bounces off the 20-day and then starts getting tighter and tighter. And this tightness gives us a great risk reward. We can enter with a very low percentage stop loss and catch a big move. So check out what happens the next day. This is when we would have entered this stock. We would have had a stop loss of about 5-6% max, probably even lower than that. And look what happens. It starts trending up. We would have sold half of this stock 3 to 5 days later, around 200% probably. It goes all the way up to 293 and then continues to make its move, and it does not close below the 10-day until 190%. Guys, these are the trades that are going to make your account. You won't find this on CNBC or any of these hype YouTubers. This is how we're going to make millions. Now, after we've studied these and we see this lining up in real time, we're going to be able to take these trades for ourselves. So we need to practice this, so let's keep going. Next, we have ABUS from 2014. So look what happens with this stock. Same similarities. Wakes up, huge volume, makes massive move from $4 up to 11, comes back down, consolidates for a while, then makes another move. Look at how explosive this is. Then it comes back. Instead of falling back down, it comes back up and gets tighter. So look at this range. Guys, it's not rocket scientists. You just draw a line. It is getting tighter and tighter, and then it breaks out on this day. So we would have entered here, and we would have had around a 4 or 5% stop loss. Look what happens. This thing makes a 97% move, then closes below the 10-day at 50%. So you would have sold half your position in here somewhere, held the rest until all the way up here. You could sell along the way and close 50%. These are the moves that's going to make our accounts go crazy. Next, we have ACB from 2017. Guys, I'm going to tattoo this on my butt. We have to memorize this. Look at how clean this is. Move from $20 up to $80. It comes back down. It surfs the 20-day. It starts getting extremely tight. Look how tight it gets. Then it breaks out. You could have taken it this day as well. It comes back down, breaks out again. You get in with a very nice stop loss. And look at this, up 100% in 5 days. You would have doubled your position in 5 days. Then it comes back down and closes 50% below the 10-day. So your whole gain would have been like 75% on this. With a $10,000 position, that's 7.5 grand in 5 days. So we have ACCL from 2000. Guys, these patterns repeat over and over again. As you'll see, we have 30 years worth of these things. Look at this. It makes a big move, huge volume, up from 15 all the way up to 40. It comes back down. Look at how it forms this range and then respects the moving averages. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days surfing that 20. Look at it. It opens up right at the top of the range. It breaks out, would have had a nice entry, and this thing continues to run for a 155% move and closes 77% below the 10-day. Beautiful. Next, we have ACMR. So check out this stock. Up from $5 to 22 in a couple of months. Now this one was a little bit crazier. As you can see, it comes back down, bounces off the moving averages a couple of times, undercuts the 20, but the whole time it's making higher lows, okay? So we see this range, even though it's loose, it is building a range. And these things that are loose means it probably has more power as well. Now, obviously, we want it to get tighter, but we still need to be following these. So look, it gaps out of the range, giving us a beautiful entry. I mean, you would have had like a 2% stop loss on this thing. Then it makes a 40% move in 5 days. Insane. Close below 10 at 18%. Another nice trade. Next, we have ADTN from 2002. So check this thing out. Once again, $7 all the way up to 20. It comes back, it undercuts the 20-day, but it's still building those higher lows, building the range. So if we move along, it gets tighter, gets very tight there. Boom, breaks out very cleanly. And check out what happens, guys. It goes on a run, up 23% in a couple of days, and then closes below the 10-day at 9%. Another good trade. Not as much follow through, but these are the trades that if we continue to take, will compound our accounts massively. And guys, I'm serious about this stuff. I have over 1,000 of these in my setup database, and I've made a guide that shows you guys exactly how to build my exact database for yourself so you can start studying. So that'll be free in the description as always. So check out ADUS from 2013. This thing goes on a very nice run. It's just increasingly going higher and higher. Check this out. It comes back down. It bounces around the 50-day, and it continues to run right up into this resistance level. Now check this out. 2 tight days right here, right on the resistance. It opens up high, gives us a nice entry, beautiful green day on elevated volume, and this thing makes a very nice move, 58%. And then closes below at 40%. Now we have ADXS from 2021. So check this thing out. Makes a move from 20 up to 60 or $70 in almost no time, like a couple of weeks. It comes over the range but comes right back down, and it's building higher lows. See, check this out. All of those higher lows, someone is buying the stock. Still within the range. Then it has a very nice day where it moves out, giving us a good entry, and the next day we get some huge follow through. This thing makes a 108% move in less than 2 weeks, closes below the 10-day cleanly at 43%. Next, we have AEHR. So this one is a little bit different, but check this out. Look at the crazy volume. Huge accumulation going on here on earnings as well. So something was going good for the stock. I don't care what it is, as long as it forms me the beautiful pattern. So this thing has a pretty big range, but it continues to get tight. Gives us 2 tight days right there. Then it gaps up cleanly out of the range. So we know this stock is breaking out. We know it's going higher, and it's worth us taking a chance. We get in here with a very nice stop loss, and from this, it makes a very juicy move. So this thing went up 142%, then closed below the 10-day at 80%. Insane trade. Next, we have AEZS from 2021. As you can see, this is around kind of the same kind of pattern formed on this one as well. A huge momentum off the bottom here. We're getting some big volume. Now, obviously, we don't want to see these red days, but it still holds up, making higher lows on the 20, so it is worth us taking a shot. And look what happens. Huge gap up, huge volume. So something changed in this stock, and this thing went on a crazy, crazy move. And so when you see these gaps, you might think, oh man, it's gapped too far out of range. Look, if it gives us a good entry, we should try it, because this gave us a 268% gain in 4 days. Crazy. Close below 10 at 60%. This one was a little bit more difficult, but we need to study these either way. Next, we have BBBY. Now, this one looks a little bit different, but you need to study these that are under the 200 because they have a lot of similarities and they make very quick, very good compounding moves. So off the bottom here, it doubles 125%. It comes back down, surfs the 20-day beautifully. Look at those 3 tight days right there. What happens? we get a nice breakout day, elevated volume, and sure enough, this thing goes on a 57% run quickly before coming back down, closing 13%. So this would have been a very nice trade to compound your money. All right, next we have BBIO. Check out this thing. Not as crazy as a momentum mover, but it gives us a very nice consolidation. So this thing makes a 50% move off the bottom, all green. It comes back, makes higher and higher lows. So people aren't selling it as much. The buying pressure is adding up. Sure enough, we open up at the top of the range. Very nice entry. And this thing goes on a juicy 70% run and then closes below a 10-day at 51%. Very nice move. Next, we have BCRX. There was actually a good setup here, but let's talk about this one here in 2014. So this thing is a little bit different, but when you study these, you'll notice that there's an edge to these as well. So it makes a move, it comes back down and consolidates here, more of a pullback around this 50-day. But look at how tight it gets. It's making higher lows along this range right there, and check it out. It gives us a nice entry, gaps out of the range, very low stop loss. You can make huge risk reward on these type of trades, and sure enough, it goes up 25% in our 5 days, closes 7% below 10-day, but you would have had a nice 25% gain on half your position here. Very, very nice. Next, we have BEEM from 2020. So check out this thing. Gives us a nice setup down here as well. It was a little bit tougher, but you can see right on the moving averages, breaks out cleanly. And then it starts setting up again. Now, this one looks a little wild, but guys, when they have this much momentum, you know, and it's gone from $3 to $38 within a year, 800%. These things continue to make runs, and they can do it fast, so we need to be watching them. So check this out. It undercuts, reclaims, make higher lows, and then on this day it moves out. So this is a little difficult, much a wider stop, but it moves out of the range, and sure enough does 100% quick, 104% in like 2 weeks, closes below the 10-day at 50%. Very nice trade. Next we have BIIB from 1999. So this thing is a nice mover. It goes on a run from $8 to $22. It doubles quickly. Now this thing takes a while to consolidate, but guys, it's the same principle over and over again. Look at it. Comes back down. It makes higher lows the whole time, respecting this range. So if we would have bought in here, we would have had a nice stop loss and a very nice 54% in 3 days. You have sold half your position up 50%. Close below 10-day, 25%. Very nice trade. This was a little slower, but we got to learn these as well. Next, we have BLDP from 2020. Check out this thing. Moves from $7 up to $14, and look at how tight it gets right at these moving averages. It's going to give us a very nice entry right at the top of the range. Perfect. Goes up 44%. Y'all know the drill. Closes below 10-day, 21%. Very nice move. Next, we have BLFS 2018. Now, look at how obvious this is, guys. Look, we're going to see these in real time when we study as much of these. This is where the money is at. Check this out. It makes a move from 5 to 7 in a week. Comes back down. Look at all those tight days right on the moving average. Gives us a beautiful tight entry here and goes on to make a very nice 87% move before closing below 10-day at 54%. These guys, this is free money, guys. Next, we have BLNK. This thing had a couple setups in 2020, so let's take a look. This thing is very wild. Goes from $1 to $8 in 2 weeks. Then it comes back down, bounces off the 20, continues to get tighter and tighter. Now, I know this looks crazy, guys, but look, the range is there. The range is there, and these can make us so much money because they move so fast. Gives us a good entry here, 67% in 2 days, closes below at 15. Then it comes back and puts in a much bigger range, but all the principles are still here. Higher lows, tightening range, very fast-moving stock. What happens? It gaps up right at the top of the range, below the range in 10-day, and then it comes out and gives us a great 200% gain in 5 days. Crazy. Then it starts to set up again, putting in a range right at these moving averages. And then, sure enough, comes above the range, gives us an 80% move in 5 days. Guys, these stocks are going to multiply our accounts fast. Next, we have BORR. It goes from around 50 cents up to $2.50. It comes back, and look at how tight it gets. Look at all the moving averages together, respecting this range. Gaps out, gives us a great entry, and this thing gives us 62% in 5 days, below the 10 at 16. Beautiful. Check out BPT from 2021. Same story. Up from $1 all the way up to $4. This thing has momentum. Comes back down. Continues to get tighter. Look at the higher lows. Higher lows, guys, in the range. Look at the tightness. Gives us a beautiful breakout day. and then makes a 58% run. You're not going to get this in the index funds, guys, and this is safer. Look at your stop loss, only like 5%. Crazy. Next we have Hain. So first off, this is in 1997. The stock looks a little weird, but it gives us a very nice tight range here, tight range there. But check out this setup here, guys. This is a little bit more difficult, but you'll see this does happen a good bit of times. Look at how well it surfs the 20. It undercuts, becomes right back in, puts in one last final tight day. This is what actually made this a decent setup. Is look at that. Very tight day inside the range and above the moving averages. Breaks out cleanly. Gives us a nice 23% on our money. Next, we have HEAR from 2018. This thing was nuts, up almost 1,000%, comes back down, surfs the 10, hits the 20, still respecting this upper trend line here, and then look at it. Breaks out, giving us a good entry right at the top between the 10 and the range. And this thing comes back down, not as much follow through here, but it actually sets up again, giving us another chance to get in. Look at the tight days, and sure enough, this thing makes another good move, and we would have got around 51% from this trade. Very, very nice. All right, check out HMBL. Those of us that have smaller accounts, this is what's going to take our accounts to crazy, crazy heights if we catch something like this. Look at this. Up from just an absolute nothing penny stock, up 10,000% in like 2 weeks. It comes back down, and instead of just trailing all the way back down, look at it holding up, making higher lows this whole time. Comes out of the range, gives us a very nice entry, and check this out. Holy crap. 952%, guys. Close below a 10-day up 400%. That is insane. All we got to do is catch one of these a year, and you're rich. All right, now we have HOV from 2019, so check out this stock. Something's going on here around earnings. We see a ton of elevated volume just increasing. This thing triples off the bottom, around 200% from 5 to 15, and then it gives us about 5 or 6 tight days right at the 10. So shorter consolidation, but we could have got in with a very nice entry, and check out this move. Surfs the 10 all the way up to almost 100% gain, closes below a 10 at 63%. Very nice. Here we have HPK. Now this one is kind of a more steady mover. It's bouncing off this 50, continuing to move up from $8 to $18, but then it gives us a very nice tight range, making higher lows, gives us a good chance at an entry. And so look at that. Beautiful, beautiful entry. 41% in a couple of weeks, closes below the 10-day at 15%. So not every stock has to be crazy momentum. These are going to be the ones that are kind of the foundation of compounding our accounts, giving us a very nice stop and a good risk versus reward ratio. Next, we have HSKA from 2016. So check this out. This thing makes a very nice move off the bottom here. Look at how well it's respecting the range and the 20-day, just surfing, 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 giving us tight days. Then it gaps out on some earnings, elevated volume, and this thing makes a 14% move pretty quickly, and it would close below 10 at 8%. But yeah, still a nice gain on your money, risk versus reward there. Next, we have HUT from 2021. This thing gives us a pretty good range here. It's a little bit tougher, but you could have caught that for a very nice gain. Then it continues to come back and get tighter. Instead of falling off, it makes higher and higher lows. Gives us about 3 tight days in here. Look at the range, gaps way out. Clean entry. Sure enough, this thing goes on a nice 153% run in like a week. Insane. Next, we have HLYN. Now, guys, this is funny because I remember being an investor during this time period, and this stock was garbage. I mean, the company is absolute trash. Probably go bankrupt, but it doesn't matter. Look at the pattern. Someone's buying it. Goes from $12 up to $34 in like 5 days. Comes back down, gets tighter and tighter and tighter, breaks out, and goes on a 163% run. Closes below a 10-day at 113%. Very clean. Look at the tightness. And it doesn't matter that the stock went down again. It's going bankrupt. Who cares? We made our money off the move. That's what we do, guys. We're here to make money, not invest in stories. All right, now let's check out GTLS from 2010. It's different years, same pattern over and over again. Up from $14 up to $34. It comes back, surfs the 20, beautifully higher and higher lows. We love to see it. Sure enough, gaps up above the range, giving us a clean entry for a very nice 11% on our money in about 5 days. Close below 10-day at 4, a profitable trade. Now let's look at GTII. This is an OTC stock. A little crazy here, but these are the ones that make the biggest moves, so we need to study them. From 1 cent up to $1.30. Check this out. Still respecting the range, higher and higher lows, and then it gaps out, giving us a good entry. Now, you might have been stopped out and you had to re-enter, but either way, this is one we got to be on. Because check this out, 221% in 5 days. Now, you would have sold half your position in these days. That's crazy. You would have doubled, tripled your money in like 5 days. Insane. Sold your last part down 64%, or up 64%, closing below the 10-day. Next, we have IAG from 2016. Take a look at this one. We make a move off the bottom. It pretty much doubles. It comes back, fails the 10 and 20, but look at the respect for the 50. Just beautiful. Then look at those 2 tight days right there. Sure enough, gaps out, giving us a beautiful entry. And look at the risk versus reward on this. 72% move, closing below the 10, up 52%. Very, very nice. Next, we have IBRX from 2017. Now, this is another one of those that is down bad on the bottom. But look, same thing over and over again. Almost doubles off the bottom, comes back to the moving averages, gets tighter and tighter, gives us a nice entry here. And you make 78% on this in like five or 6 days. Close below 10-day at 48%. Do not be scared to trade these under the 200, but you need to know what they look like. That's why we're practicing. So when we see this again, we can make a quick 50, 60, 70% on our money in 5 days. Insane. All right, now let's look at ICGE from 1999. So this was an IPO, and if you know anything about IPOs, whenever you study them, you'll see these things can make some very crazy moves and make it very fast. So we need to be watching IPOs. So as we can see here, this thing continues to make a nice uptrend. It gets very tight along the 20, gives us like 4 or 5 tight days, gaps up over the range. We know it's breaking out. Sure enough, 126%. It doubles in 2 weeks, closing below a 10-day at 80%. Very nice. All right, next we have IDCC from 1999. So guys, those of us with smaller accounts, these thinner stocks, we got to be on this. Check this out. Makes a huge move in 3 days, doubles, comes back. Look at the respect for the 10-day. Just surfing, getting tighter between that range. Gaps up, breaks out, huge volume, massive day. Goes on a 500% run before coming back and closing up 166% below the 10-day. Crazy move. That's all we need is a couple of these, guys. All we need is a couple. Very, very nice. Let's check out IDT from 2021. This thing has been an incredible growth stock. Look at this, up 500%. What happens? Comes back, gets very tight. Look at the moving averages. Tight on the 20, gives us like 3 tight days in here. Same thing, gaps out of the range. Beautiful move, 35% on half your money. Sold the rest below the 10-day, up 15%. Very nice trade, very quick. Next, we have IGMS. This is another recent IPO setup. This thing was in 2020. Look at it. It makes a very nice move from $20 up to $57. Comes back. It gets tighter and tighter. Now, I didn't respect the moving averages great, but look what happens. It comes back above the 10, puts in 4 tight days, then breaks out, giving us a 77% total move, closing below the 10 at 23%. Very nice. We got to watch these IPOs. Next, we have IHRT from 2021. So we can see this thing is not as an insane mover as some of our other ones, but look at what it does. It's been surfing the moving averages this whole move. It doubles this year, and then comes back, giving us a nice tight range. I would have loved for these days to be a little bit tighter, but this is still a decent setup and worth taking, because look at what happened. You get a very nice move. It sets up again. You could have got in again after you got stopped out here, and it would have made a 41% move. Close below 10 at 30%, compounding your money. Next, we have IIIN from 2004. Same story, different day. Up 400-something%. Crazy momentum. Look at it get tighter and tighter right on that 10-day. And sure enough, breaks out, giving us a very nice 30% gain in like 5 days, then comes back and closes below the 10 to close out the rest of our position. Next, we have IIV from 2020. So if we get another sell-off, these are the setups we need to study because these happened after the big 2020 sell-off. Check this out. Comes off the bottom from 12, pretty much doubles up to 20, comes back, respects the moving averages, puts in a tighter range, very nice tight day there, breaks out, giving us a good entry, and sure enough, this thing doesn't close below a 10-day until it goes up 54%, closes below up 34%. Very nice. Next, we have IIPR from 2019. Look at it go here from $40 up to $90. And look, it's a little bit slower, it takes it longer to consolidate, but look at the tight days. Almost 5 tight days right here, right on that 50 in between our range. And sure enough, we get a nice breakout, and it goes on a nice 55% run in like 2 weeks. Very good gain. Here we have ILMN from 2004. So check this out. This stock makes a move from $1 up to 4.5. Comes back down, and look at how tight this thing gets right here. Look at all those days in there. Breaks out. Very nice move, 35%, textbook. Next, we have KNDI. First, I always want to say, if you're still watching this video at this point, you have everything you need to make millions, guys. If you're still watching, you still understand the power of these setups, you are halfway there. Now it's just time to study, so let's keep going. KNDI, check this out. This thing gets tighter and tighter. It has a big undercut, but it comes back up and puts in some tight days between this range. Sure enough, opens up, gives us a nice breakout, and you make 40% on your money in no time. Close below a 10-day at 15%. This one's a little bit weird, but we need to watch it because it still had the characteristics. It still had everything we need for a decent setup, a good risk versus reward trade. Here we have KIRK. This thing went on a monster run in 2020. This thing goes up from a penny stock all the way up to $13. It comes back, and look at it, right along the 50-day, making higher lows, tightening range, gives us a couple tight days, breaks out, very nice. We would have made around 50%. Close below a 10-day at 21%. Nice move. Here we have KMX. Shorter consolidation, but the same thing. So check this out. Makes a big move up here, almost doubles. Comes back, gives us 2 tight days right here along the range. Breaks out. Sure enough, goes on a very nice move. Almost doubles in a couple of weeks. And closes below a 10-day at 75%. These are the trades that are going to make us millions, boys. Got to study them. Here we have KOPN. This thing moves off the bottom. It surfs the 10-day all the way up, putting in almost a 400-500% move. It comes back, and look at it. It doesn't fall off. It gets tighter. Look at those 2 tight white tick days right there, guys. Gaps up over range. Has a really crazy day here, but continues making his move. You would have sold half your position up 45%, sold the rest up 20%. Here we have KRTX. This thing makes a massive move, comes back, starts surfing the 20 and the 10. Look at how tight it gets, guys. Look at all those higher lows. So many tight days. Breaks out cleanly, gives us 50% in 5 days, then closes below the 10 at 20%. Insanely nice move to compound our cash. Next, let's check out LAC. This thing makes a nice almost double from this point here. It continues to make higher and higher lows. I would like for it to get a little bit tighter, but as you can see, the setup is still here, and it looked nice, giving us a 58% return in a couple weeks, closing below the 10, up 38%. Here we have LAZY. This thing makes a really nice move, of course, up 600%, comes back. Look at how it respects this range. Tightening is a little bit below the 50-day, but look at how tight the range gets in comparison to this. Very nice. Gaps up, good entry, and 41% gain before closing below the 10 at 14%. Next, we have LCTX from 2020. Look at this thing. Doubles, comes back. Look at it respecting the 20-day, putting in a tight range. Look at the day before breakout. Super tight in between the range and the 20-day. Sure enough, breaks out, giving us a 64% gain and 23% when it closes below the 10-day. Here we have Mara. Now this one looks a little bit different, but you'll see all the characteristics are still there. It makes a crazy move from 50 cents up to $5. It comes back, undercuts all the moving averages, but look at the tightening range. So check this out. Get a very nice breakout day, and we have to be watching these because this went on a 138% move, closed below a 10-day at 50%. And this thing continued to run. Look, it's set up again. Crazy momentum, comes back, reclaims the 20, puts in some 2 or 3 tight days here, gaps out of range, enter again for a 70% gain, closing below the 10 at 28%. Crazy. We have to be watching these fast movers. Next, we have MBOT. Are you starting to get the pattern here, guys? Look at this. Crazy move. Comes back, bounces off the 50, bounces again, puts in tight days, respecting this range here, and then it breaks out. It gaps out of the range. It's just too easy. Then it makes a 97% move. Guys, this is it. We just need to study these over and over again. Then we'll see them in real time. And we also have to have the patience to wait for these great setups. Doubles in a couple of weeks. Very, very nice. All right, check out MDWD. This is another tougher one to spot. This is in 2020, but check out the volume. Look at the move it made here. It still made a very nice 50% move right here above the 200-day, surfing that 10. It's definitely worth taking this trade because it gapped out, give us a good entry. 41%, 25%. This is a little bit difficult, a little shorter consolidation, but still a good trade. Let's check out MEOH from 2009. This is another setup that we could start seeing things like this if we do get a sell-off scenario here going into the end of 2022. Look at this thing, up 76%. It comes back, it surfs the 10, gives us a good entry here, and we make 27% on our money in 5 days. Very, very nice. Now let's look at MESA from 2021. We're going to move from $3 to $8. It comes back. Instead of falling off, it holds up, surfs the 50-day, gives us like a bunch of tight days here. Look at the range. Clean break, short stop loss, and a 126% move, closing below the 10 at 80%. Insane, insane. All right, check out METC. This thing goes on a nice run from 3 to 9. It gets a little crazy here. I would have liked for it to be tighter, but it does respect the 20-day, comes up, closes this day, even though it's sold off a little bit, closes up between the range, and sure enough, we get a nice breakout day and a nice 46% in 5 days, closing below 10 at 15. Here we have MFIN. This thing makes a move off the bottom here from earnings from $2 up to 2.8. It's not as crazy momentum, not as good of a setup, but it still gives us a tight range, surfing the moving averages. Then guess what? If you miss that one, it gives you another chance. Look at how tight it gets right on the 20-day, guys. Very, very nice. Breaks out, goes on a 32% move just from here. So you'd call this whole move would have been like a double, but nice 32% gain in 3 days. Closed below 10-day at 15%. Here we have MGTI, another penny stock to begin with, but look at the craziness of this move. Huge volume, up 1,300%. We have to watch this. Look at how tight it got. Look at the range it gave us. Insane. Gapped up out of the range, giving us 62% in no time. We have to be eyeing these stocks that make these kind of moves because usually they'll make second legs and we want to be a part of it. All right, next we have MMAT. So this thing goes on a nice run from 50 cents all the way up to $1.50 at the end of 2020. And then at the very start of 2021, look at this thing. Gets very tight. 4 tight days right at the top of the range above the 10-day. It breaks out and sure enough, a 176% run closes below the 10-day. So half your position would have been sold up 100%. Very nice. Here we have MMEX. Now this one looks kind of crazy, but look, these have insane potential. So check this out. Makes a move from $2 up to 20. Comes back, surfs the 10. Look at this. We have to try to get in on one of these stocks at any point that we can with low risk. So this thing gives us a tight day here, right in between the range and the 10. Breaks out and then goes on a crazy 1,600% run in 4 days. Insane. Closes below 10-day up 500%. We got to just tattoo this on our brain. And yes, it was thin, guys, but it was trading more than enough during these days. I mean, it traded, millions on breakout. So any decent account could have caught this. Very, very nice. Here we have MNKD. Check this out. 2009. Moves off the bottom, surfs the 10, tight range, breaks out 34% easily. This thing has us another setup a couple years in the future. So check this out. Makes another move. Tight range on the 10. Breaks out. Does it again. Look at how clean it respects. I mean, you can just envision the line right there. Look at the range. Breaks out. Gaps up. Gives a great entry. 128%. Closes below the 10 at 87. Very nice. Now we have MOGO from 2020. So we get a big pump here. It's up 100% almost. Comes back, surfs the 10, puts in 2 tight days. This is a little bit difficult one to find, but the pattern is there, guys. 2 tight days above the 10 in the range, gaps out, and gives us a very, very respectable 50% move, close to below the 10 at 30%. Very nice. Now we have MRVC. This stock was a beast. There's so many setups. Look at this from 1996. Makes a great move, just a powerful mover. Look at how tight it gets right around the 20-day. Very nice range. Breaks out 30%. Now let's continue to see how many setups this stock had. This was a beast. Look at this one here. Comes off the bottom from 60 up to 160. Comes back, surfs to 20. Look how tight it gets. Boom, breaks out. Great entry. 72%. This thing continues to run. Look at this as well. It's really running now, up 500% on the year. Comes back, puts in another tight range, breaks out. It does it again, guys. Look at the range, right on the 20, breaks out, 134%. This stock is a beast. I think it had even more setups. Let's go look. Yeah, there's a nice under the 200-day right here. You can see 58 up to 100. comes back, couple tight days here, breaks out 31%, nothing special. Look at this, another one right here. The stock makes a move from $20 up to $40. Hope you guys are seeing the pattern. They all look different in their own way, but the pattern is the same, guys. Comes back to the 50-day, continues building this tight range. This is a little bit harder to see, but you can see the cleanliness there. It definitely worked. 50%. Very nice. Let's continue to go, see if there's any more. A small setup there. Another small setup here. 53%. Very nice. Another setup right here. Look at it, surfing those moving averages, breaking out, giving us 54%. Very easy money. I think that's all we had for this stock. So moving on to NANO. So check this stock out. Look at how tight it gets from $1 up to $8. Comes back, beautiful higher lows, bounced off the 50-day a couple times, comes up above the moving averages, breaks out for a 62% gain very quickly, and closes below 10 at 30%. Here we have NFGC from an IPO from late 2020. And this thing puts in a very nice base here. It starts to run, and then look at this setup. Just consolidate, surfs the 10, beautiful tight day beforehand, and then breaks out for a 44% gain off of the move. Very nice. And here we have NHTC. So check this thing out. This is in 2015. We have a little setup going on here that worked out well, and then we have another setup here. Look at it, still moving from 10 up to 34. It surfs the 20, giving us 3 tight days, gaps out on entry, 30% very quickly, closes below the 10 at 10%. All right, check out NHWK. Look at this thing. Makes a move from $1 up to $7. Comes back, pulls back to the 50, comes up, starts surfing the 10, and it looks a little crazy, but you got to realize, like, in comparison with these stocks, they can make such huge moves where this will actually look a lot cleaner, after the fact. But look at this, right on the 10, it breaks out, and sure enough, it goes on a 334% move in like 5 days, closing below the 10-day at 100%. Very nice. And now we have one of my favorite stocks of all time, and that is NIO. This thing helped get me into the market. So check this out. Moved from $2 up to $15. Crazy. Comes back, puts in a very nice range here. Breaks out. Doesn't have great follow-through, but it continues to make higher lows all the way until this day. It breaks out again. Doesn't have much follow through again, though. We got a nice gain. And then it comes back, continues to surf the 20. Check this out. Boom. Another tight day right before breakout on the 20. It's a little bit shorter consolidation, but it could have worked. And yeah, this thing goes on a tear. And it sets up again. Check this out. It's a little bit loose here, but bounced off the 50, gives us a tight day through this range. And yeah, that one actually ended up failing. You could have bought on that day, I guess, as it went through. So you might have been all right. But yeah, insane mover. Overall, catching pieces that move would have get you, 200, 100%. Very nice. I love NIO. All right, let's check out 9 from 2020. Look at this thing. Off the bottom here from the bad lows from what? Then it comes up to around $3, comes back, but it surfs the 10 the whole time. Then builds us a beautiful range with some tight days. Breaks out for a 206 move in 3 days. Insane. Closes below 10, probably around 10-20%, but nice move. Here we have NIU in 2020. This thing got a little bit of a shorter consolidation here. Not a great setup, but it is surfing the 10, so you got 58% on this one. But an even better setup is right here. So check this thing out. This thing has a much longer consolidation, but as we can see, the higher lows. It undercut the 50-day, but it's still making higher lows in a nice long range, getting tighter and tighter. And then, 3 tight days here, gaps out of range cleanly, so you would have known it's a breakout. And you would have got 64% very quickly, closing below the 10 at 33%. Now we have NOG from 2021. Check this thing out. Moved from $3 up to 10. Comes back and gets so tight on this 20-day. I mean, this is like textbook, guys. Breaks out. Great entry, make 33% or 30%, then it closes below 10-day, probably around 20 to 15%. Very nice. Next, we have OCUL. Check this thing out in 2015. It IPOs. Like I said, we got to be watching these IPOs because they all look pretty similar. Comes up, surfs the 10 beautifully, 4 tight days, breaks out, gives us 34% before closing below 10-day at 25. Here we have OCUP. This thing was 5-star. Look at this. Huge move on volume, pretty much doubles in 2 days, comes back to the 20, gets ridiculously tight, clean breakout on volume, gives us another move. You could have got back in here, and pretty much 159% total move, but closing below the 10-day up 65. Either way, very good trade. Here we have OI from 2001. So check this thing out. Comes off the bottom, bounces, goes from 250 all the way up to 8, around 171%. Look at the reaction. Look at the line. Look at the 20-day. Beautiful range. Tight day before. Breaks out. 30% move before closing below the 10. So yeah, these are the nice trades. They're going to help compound our accounts. Very nice. It was very clean, very obvious. Here we have OMER, very similar type trade. This was actually in 2022. So guys, these happen every year, even when the market is trash. Makes a 144% move, comes back, surfs to 20, very nice, breaks out, giving a great entry, and you make 82% in the middle of a crap market. Very nice trade. Next, we have ONCY from 2019. This thing was a little bit more difficult, but it has the same characteristics. It doubles off the bottom, actually it triples off the bottom, comes back, gets in a really tight range. Now, it broke through here, but it came back, gave us 3 more tight days, setting up the range again, and very clean breakout day, and 381% move. Crazy, crazy. Closing below 10, up 178. Very nice. Here we have ONVO from 2021. This one was a little bit choppy, a little crazy, but the range is still there. This one was not a great setup, but I want to take a look at it anyway because the gap made it pretty obvious. You could tell, this thing is gapping out of range. Might be worth taking a shot. It ended up doing 41% in 4 days. So yeah, working out well, but a pretty choppy one. Here we have OPNT. So check this thing out. This thing goes on a tear from 6 up to 24. Now this one is a little bit difficult because it got tight on the 10, then it undercut it, but then it reclaimed, ending up right at the top of the range when it closed that day. It gaps up, giving us a good entry, and it doubles in the matter of like 6 or 7 days. Here we have OPRA. This one is another below the 200-day. It's not necessarily as good, but all the setups, all the characteristics are still there. Comes off the bottom up 50%, comes back, puts in a nice little range. Would have been nice if it got tighter, but it gapped up right at the top of the range with a good entry, giving us 55%, closing below 10 at 29. Next, let's look at ORMP. This one does look a little bit strange as well, but crazy volume off the bottom, and it doubles in 3 days. Instead of coming back down, it holds up, builds a pretty, not extremely tight range, just a little bit loose, but look at that last day. Opens and closes right there, gaps up right at the range, and yeah, 129% gain, closing below 10 at 84%. Let's look at PAAS. They got a pretty decent setup here under the 200. Then had another good setup here. They only got around 13% for coming back down. But another good setup was here. Check this out. Now, this thing was a little bit slower ADR, so not insane of moves. But look at the setup here, guys. Comes up, bounces off the 50, just gets stupid tight, right on all the moving averages. Clean breakout, 13% in 3 days before stopping you out, probably at break even. But yeah, these setups don't always work to perfection, but I mean, look at it. It's just beautiful. Beautiful setup. All right, let's take a look at PACB from 2021. Look at this thing. Went on a crazy run to finish the year, up 800%. It comes back, reclaims the 20 days, puts in around 3 or 4 tight days here, right within our range that we're looking at, and it gaps up, giving us a good entry, 42% in 4 days. Very nice. Next, we have PAM, another one of kind of a slower name, but let's check out this setup here. From $34 up to $50, comes back, just does the beautiful flag, of course, 2 tight days, breaks out, goes on a 27% run. Still a great trade, very clean move. All right, let's take a look at PBT from 2008. It's kind of strange that we find 2008 setups, but there were some, so check this out. Up from 14 up to 23, 57% move, comes back, bounces off 20, continues to get tighter right at the top of the range, gives us a nice clean entry on this day, very short stop loss, and does 23% before absolutely getting crushed. So you probably would have made, 10-11% on this trade before going break even, but still a profitable, good trade. Let's take a look at PCG in 2019, a 2-for-1 special here. Look at this thing, how it comes off the bottom. Comes up from 5 all the way up to 14, then puts in a very tight range on the 10-day, clean breakout, 36% move. Then it does it again. It bottoms, same deal, bounces from 3 up to around 8, comes back, surfs the 10, gives us a clean entry here for a 65% move. You see it a little bit closer right there. Very clean, very nice trade. PDS, same story, different year. Check this thing out. Coming off the low, $6. It doubles up to 12. Gets very tight right at the 20, the rising 10 and 20. Breaks out for a 62% gain in 5 days. Beautiful. All right, this is PDSB. Check this thing out. It's got some power behind it. It's recently up 228% at the time of this, and then it comes back. It would have been nice if it got a little bit tighter, but you can still see the range here as it's, surfing the 10-day, gaps up above the range, giving us a good entry for an 88% move. These things can move very fast, so we need to be watching them. Closing below 10 at 51%. Again, another one below the 200-day. These things can be good. We have to watch them, but you have to know what to look for. This is in 2016. This is PLG. This thing makes a good explosive move off the bottom here, and then it continues to surf and get tight. 2 tight days right on the 10. Breaks out for a 62% gain quick before closing below 10 at 24. All right, so I got another beautiful 50-day surfer to show you. It's from 2017. Look at this thing. It doubles, comes back, surfs the 50-day beautifully, puts in a very tight range right here, breaks out convincingly, and then goes on a 36% run before getting clapped. And you would have been probably around up 8 or so percent, but still a very good trade. Guys, these stocks have always moved the same, and they're going to continue to move the same. This is just supply and demand at work. So check this out. From $2 up to 20 almost, high ADR. This thing is surfing the 20-day beautifully. Puts in a range here, gaps up right at the top of the range, goes on a 51% move quickly before falling down and giving us 20% below the 10-day. All right, check out RCMT. This thing is really nice move here. It comes at the end of 2020, and we get a huge volume day where it almost doubles. Comes back at the 10, gives us 4 tight days. We get a nice entry here, and 410% move, guys, in 2 weeks. Closes below 10 at 65. Crazy. Now let's take a look at REKR. This one was a little bit difficult. Not a great setup, but you can still see everything here. Nice move up to 2. Comes back, breaks out kind of probably later in the day here, and then we get a nice 86% move. And this thing gives us another good setup, so we'll take a look at it as well. Check this out right here. This one looks a little bit better in my opinion, but look at this. To end 2020, this thing goes from $3 up to 9. It then gives us a nice breakout here, which gives us 41% before closing below 10 at 21. But if you held to the 20, this would have been a much bigger move. But that's not how I like to do it. But yeah, very nice move. Let's check out RIMM. This is actually from 2013. This thing is a little bit weird. Gives us a good setup here, but then gaps down. So you probably would have been close to a break even on this. But then it stays up and forms another range. A little bit weird, but it was still a good setup in my opinion. Because it gave us a tight entry here, and then it would have done 47% in 5 or 6 days. So interesting type setup, but it seemed to have worked. Here we have Riot in 2017. So the crypto market was going crazy. Probably a setup somewhere in here, but this one was a little bit better in my opinion. Comes up all the way up to 24. Crazy move. Comes back, gives us a nice range. It's getting tighter and tighter. Gaps way out. Gives us 123% in 5 days before closing below 10 at 33. Insane move. These things have crazy momentum, and you got to try to catch them. This thing actually set up again. Very similar move here, guys. They repeat. Look at this. Up from $4 up to 30. Comes back. It's higher and higher. It could have got tighter, but look, these that move really quick don't get as tight as we would like, but still good enough. Gaps out. 165% in 5 days. Almost the exact same time move, guys. We have to learn these. Here we have RLMD. This was a little bit weird, but it has a big, huge gap up here on volume. Then it continues to get tight around the 20. It breaks out of the range it was in and does 70% in no time. But yeah, this is a little bit weird of a setup. Not a 5-star by any means, but it still is a good risk reward, good entry there. All right, here we have RVLP from 2022 actually, and we can see it makes a nice move from $1.30 all the way up to $2.30, around 64%. Continues to get tight right on the 10-day here. Breaks out, giving a nice 33% gain before throwing it all up. But it still would have been a nice trade. Good risk versus reward. All right, now we have Sava from 2003. Now check this thing out. It makes a move from 12 up to almost 30. Comes back, surfs the 20 for a little bit. Puts in 2 extremely tight days on the 10. Breaks out. It goes on a 126% move before coming down and closing below 10 at 82%. Very, very nice. I hope you guys are enjoying and soaking in these setups, because this is going to make us millions if we learn these. It's very simple, but it's not easy. You know what I'm saying? So if you guys are animals and you want to study even more setups, there's a link in the description just for you with 50 more. But if you're new to the strategy, you want to learn more, you can check out this video going over exactly how to trade these right here. And I'll see y'all in the next one.